Oh yeah. Hey guys, how you doing? Um, First of all, sorry if there is background noise. I'm currently running my dishwasher, and it's very loud. So apologies if you guys can hear that in the background. I'll do whatever I can in the editing to fix that. But welcome to another video today. I know I said that I was making an Elden Ring video for my next video, but I had to do a little bit of tinkering with that game because I haven't played the game in like a really long time. And when I tried to launch it, I couldn't get the like resolution to get fixed. I fixed the issue. Whatever the issue was, I fixed it, but I haven't had time to actually sit down and like record gameplay. I've been super busy. And that's kind of what this video is going to be about. Today I'm going to be talking about my Black Friday experience as a retail worker. It was crazy. This is my first ever time, first of all, doing retail on Black Friday. Actually, it's my first ever retail job in general. I got this job back in July, and it's been great so far. I love it. I'm not going to say what store I work at, but I work at a retail clothes store. That's all I'll tell. But so you can imagine that Black Friday is a pretty big day for us. We had some pretty crazy sales. The whole week actually has been pretty busy. I worked on Tuesday and Wednesday as well, and both those days were crazy. So definitely has been a couple of crazy days, and yesterday kind of was just like the big cherry on top. I also go to work today. When this video is going out, it's going to be Saturday, November 29th, and then I also am going to work tomorrow, which I'm assuming both those days are going to be busy as well, but maybe not as busy, hopefully. I definitely don't think it'll be as busy. But anyways, I'm going to tell you all my experience on what it was like to work on Black Friday as a retail worker. Now, I know that Black Friday isn't what it used to be. Like back in the day, people would be waking up at like midnight on Friday to go shopping, and stores would stay open like 24 hours straight, and people would be killing each other over shit. But, you know, it was that kind of vibe. It was very crazy. People would be running into stores and like grabbing things, and it's just not like that anymore. Ever since like, the internet became such a big thing, now that is like really like taken over the whole idea of Black Friday, which makes sense. I for one like to shop online, so that's what I've been doing. In fact, I've gotten a couple things, nothing crazy. Like I bought some more G Fuel. It was a buy one get one free, so I was just waiting for that sale to go back up to buy 2 tubs for the price of one. Marvel Rivals has some deals right now that I've been kind of messing around with, and other than that, that's kind of all I've bought. I'm not too frugal with money right now, so I'm just trying to save up. But I did want to mention that my last video I was talking a lot about football and sports betting. I actually ended up making $122 that day, and I put in $40. So that's cool. I've been positive, which is great. Doesn't happen too often, but it's nice when it does, and it was a pretty big hit. So I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, Black Friday. So my shift started at 11:30 and ended at 6, which is not a bad shift at all for Black Friday. I'm glad I didn't have to open or close because that would have been chaos. Actually, opening wouldn't have been that bad, but I definitely would have probably preferred to still do this midday shift that I had because that was actually not bad at all. The shift itself wasn't bad. The part that sucked was the parking. So I live about 30 minutes away from where I work. I know it's kind of far, but I don't know. It's fine. And so I left at 10 o'clock. My shift started at 11:30. I wanted to give myself 30 minutes to get there and then take like a good like 45 minutes to an hour to park. Thinking that I would be able to, chill in my parking spot for a little bit, mentally prepare myself. No, it's not what happened. So I picked up some food on the way, and I probably arrived at the mall because I work in like an outlet mall, which is like an outdoor mall. I probably got there at 10:30, 35, 45, and I didn't find a parking spot until 11:35. It took me about an hour to find a parking spot, and I was late because of it. What basically happened was I get there, and I go into like the back way into the outlet mall, and I see a ton of spots on that side because it's pretty like no one really goes to that side of the mall. So I was like, okay, cool. If there's spots here, maybe there'll be spots closer to where I work. So I kept going, and then I was stuck in this long ass line of traffic. So then I was like, okay, obviously I'm not gonna be able to find a spot over here. Let me try to go to the other side of the mall, but it's still closer than the original spot that I was at. Sorry, I just ate. So I had a little clear my throat a little bit. But so I went to the other side, and it was the exact same situation. There was just nowhere to park, and then the traffic was just insane. I could not move anywhere. So then I was like, okay, I just got to go back to where I originally started. So I went back through all the traffic and back to the spot I parked. So I parked pretty far away from where I actually work. So I had to park and then run to my work, and I made it there like maybe like 5 minutes late. It wasn't that big of a deal. Everyone was fine with it, but it definitely was annoying, and it kind of started off my day as like, shit, is this how the rest of the day is going to go? Just like unluckiness. But honestly, guys, I don't work at the most like crazy store in the world. Like, it was busy, trust me. Like, we did a lot of sales, a lot of things went down, and it was very, very crazy. However, it still was just like a pretty chill time. I kind of liked it because there was always something to be doing, like whether it be folding clothes, hanging up clothes, taking clothes back from the dressing rooms, checking people out at the register. There was always something to be doing, which I really liked because like sometimes when I'm there, it's like there's nothing to do the entire time. Well, there's always something to do, of course, but if there's like no one in the store, then it's kind of up to you to find things for yourself. When there are people in the store and they're just flinging clothes all over the place, it's obvious what you should be doing, and that's cleaning up the store. The store cleanliness comes first, you know? So that was nice. And I had a break, and I had some lunch, and I was only there for like 6 hours. It really, honest to God, it wasn't that bad. I know that there are people that had worse shifts than me. And speaking of my girlfriend, she works also at a retail store, and she had to work from 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. So at least I didn't have that shift. I really did not care though. I mentally prepared myself like really ever since I got this job that like Black Friday is going to be like one of the biggest days of the year, and I got to prepare myself. And it honestly was very busy, and a lot of shit was going on, but at the end of the day it was very chill. And I think also a part of me just like knew that I wasn't closing, so I didn't have to worry about that as much. I do have to close tonight, which I'm a little worried about because something that I hate about retail work or just any kind of job like this. I hate people that come in like 5 or 10 minutes before we close. I'm like, guys, you're not gonna be able to find everything you need to find within that time. You're not gonna, and so like I'll be straight up about it. When they walk in, I'm like, hey, just by the way, we close in about 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, and they keep going and they keep spending more time there, and they end up checking out 5 minutes after, and I'm like, god damn it. It really pisses me off. That's like probably my biggest like pet peeve about working in retail, honestly. But luckily, I didn't have to deal with that yesterday. Probably will today, but I'm scheduled until an hour after we close, and usually it's like 30 minutes. So I'm just kind of preparing myself to have to stay until then, anyways. So we should be fine. And I got a good crew that I'm closing with tonight as well, so that's okay. But I definitely want to make more videos talking about like my job experience because I've worked at some really interesting places. I've worked at a fast food restaurant. I'm gonna let y'all guess what that is in the comments. I've worked at a restaurant. No one will ever guess what restaurant I worked at. And I've worked at a retail store. And I've also had like an office job at school when I used to go to school. And then I think that's pretty much it in terms of like jobs that I've had. But I have some like really interesting stories like from all of them, so I'd love to make a video. In fact, one of the requests I had for like a questionnaire thing I did on my Instagram was to talk about the restaurant I worked at, like its lore and all the stories, because that's a lot I could talk about there. But all in all, and the thing that the best part is, I got off at 6, right, and I had to make that big long walk back to my car, so I stopped at every store not every store, but I stopped at most of the stores that were on the way there, and I just couldn't find anything. I stopped in American Eagle and then immediately turned around and went out because it looked like a madhouse in there. Didn't want to deal with that. But there just wasn't really anything that like spoke to me, honestly. I was looking at a couple things though, like um, there was. I really, really want to get a handheld uh, device. I want to get either the ROG LAX, the Steam Deck, or the Lenovo Legion Go. I'm looking at the Lenovo the most, but they're all like discounted. But again, it's just a lot of money right now, so I'm gonna wait. I think on it, but I really do want one of those. I looked at some other things though, but Christmas is coming up soon and all that stuff, and there'll probably be deals then too. I can just get them then, and maybe I'll have a little bit more money at that point as well. But definitely was a interesting experience overall, and then I just went home. I picked up some food for myself because I thought I deserved it after a day like that, and went home and just had a good rest of my night. It was pretty good, honestly. I would do it again. I actually I really liked it, honestly. I liked being busy. I wish that all my shifts would kind of be like that because I feel like then it will be a decent time and not like kind of dragging, I guess, because it went by like that, dude. Like a snap of my finger, man. It was so nice. But yeah, honestly, would do it again. Wasn't that bad. And I hope everyone that did go Black Friday shopping or worked in retail had a good time at least and was okay. But yeah, let me know if you guys got anything in the comments down below from Black Friday, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.